Hello and welcome. Hello, I hope everyone is doing well. Thank you for joining. I am so glad to see Time Will Tell. Yay, you've been missing lives. Oh, I'm glad that you're here. And going 420. Nice to see you. That's so great. Juan, hey Juan, greetings to you on this lunch noontime. Elps, there you are. Our good Sissy is tapped in. Thank you, girl code, Sissy. Nancy, hey, happy Friday to you. Everybody joining from Facebook, I want to thank you for joining over there. I'll head over there afterwards. Hey, Christine, greetings, T. Witten. Oh my gosh. Now, okay, you all just have to hear this. 10 yay. You're not going to believe this, Tenya. You're going to feel like I was stalking you, okay? I just saw a comment that you had on someone else on someone else's channel, Tenya. I swear. It's like, Tenya, and I liked your comment. I don't think you could see that it was me that liked it. I was like, oh my God, yes. And I liked Tenya's comment. If I remember who it was. See, we tend to listen to the same content creators. But I was like, where has Tenya been? And then for you to show up, oh my gosh, can we just give love and everything, blessings to our sister Tenya? Welcome. It's so nice to see you. It was nice to see you in the comment section. Hey, Ann, beautiful Molly Moose. Hey, Molly, thanks for joining at noontime. Hey there, Kathy in Arizona. Wow, this is bringing out a few other people that I haven't seen in a while. Sherry is one. Hey, Sherry. I'll say it like we say it in Philly. We go Sherry. Hey, Sherry. And then if Sean is here, we say Sean. Hey, Sean and Sherry, right? That's real Philadelphia. Don't get mad at me. It's true. Sean and Sherry. Sherry. That's how the Philly accent says Sherry. Hey, Camilla, how are you? I still have that Philly accent. I haven't broken it yet. What did you say? It was something funny, I think. I'll have to think about it, Tenye. It's so funny, though. I loved it. This is just amazing to see you here, though. Like, that is because I was saying in my mind, I liked it so fast. I was like, where's Tenye been? I haven't seen her. Hey, Grandma Shell, you're in Indiana. Oh, nice. Welcome. Oh, one take son. I haven't seen you, sis. What's goody? Let's talk about some things, okay? Let's step on some toes. Y'all ready to dance and step on toes? Like, just be klutzy? No, I'm only kidding. Lady Di, hello. Welcome, Lady Di. Love it, love it, love it that you're here. Let me ask you all if anybody knows about the book called Watership Down. Let me know if you're familiar with it. Hey, Jamie. Hello. I'm going to be okay, yes, you didn't miss much, Jamie. I just started. So, anybody familiar with Watership Down? I'm going to play a few little clips, but I want to talk about it in relation to some things, okay? And our sissy, I'm hoping will tap in and we can talk about some things. Hey, Kenna. Kenna, how are you? I meant to answer your question, Kenna. You don't mind, like, you asked, like, should I go to Ireland like in the spring? She has You made your plans to travel. I don't want to ruin travel plans. I mean, I just wanted to share a perspective for people to think about because I just notice things that, I have a certain feeling. I could be absolutely off the mark and you'll miss your trip of a lifetime. I don't want to be that person. At the same time, I don't not want to say some things that I'm sensing. And it's just, I could be way off the mark, but I gave you my reasons for my concern with international travel at this time. I mean, it's just a temporary thing as I see it, but I would say, in prayer, discernment, and, just being, like I say, situational awareness. A lot of us, have it. It's something that my mother taught me a lot about, because I used to be the latchkey kid, latchkey kid. My parents were divorced, and I rode on the buses in Philadelphia. My mother was always drilling what to do. She was so good at that. And, me being an only child, I was like an artsy fartsy kid, like, oh, look at that. Oh, birds, and she knew I would be a target right in Philadelphia. So she had to teach me things. I was the kind of kid, one day I fell asleep on the bus and I missed my bus stop. And my mother would have like a older kid, maybe that we knew from the family, meet me at a bus stop. She would coordinate like an air traffic controller. Okay. So yeah, you have to be aware of your surroundings, even here, everywhere. But people are not well. They're not doing well right now. So that's something to consider. And absolutely, keto is also helpful. Keto, and as James Brown said, I might not know karate, but I know crazy. I know crazy. Okay. So I don't have to know karate, that you will know if I know karate. You're not supposed to let people know when you know karate. Karate. Hey there, Mish. High, higher truths. Yes, let's do it. Higher truths. So yeah, so you could know crazy. You think so? What? Like I said, if Elon Musk tries to put a chip anywhere near my head, he's going to get a chip. He will be sorry. Sorry. So, this is the thing. I want to talk about Watership Down in regards to natural law. And I came across a really good piece of content that got me thinking about some things when it comes to natural law and our current situation that we're in right now. And Kenna, this goes to discuss even traveling. Everything is in flux right now, and it's because it has a direct correlation to many things that we have control over. See, that's the good news. We, the people, have control over a lot more than we think. And first of all, we have control over where we give our attention, for sure. And if you are going to choose to let fear drive your life and your decisions, anybody who lives by fear is a slave. Okay. And I said it. I don't care if it offends anybody. We have to stop caring about offending people. Okay. If a person lives in a fear based type of mindset, they are a slave. Yes. Kunta Kinte. That's what you are. You might as well put Kunta Kinte on yourself if you live by fear. And Kanye, or Ye, did he not say slavery was a choice? Did he not say that? And everybody, not everybody, but some of us were like, tell me more, Ye. He's provocative. I hear he got married. Congratulations, I think. I don't know. What do you say to Ye, But the thing that, basically, slavery is a choice. Sorry. if it doesn't sound like, it doesn't feel good to hear that. It, as they say, the memes are all over that you can convince somebody, you can fool someone easier than you can convince them that they've been fooled. And this is about our egos, everything that goes into wanting to fit in to groups, and whatever this society and culture is. Culture has cult in it. So a lot of us need to quit our cults. And that's what the particular, I'll come across his name. I want to share some of his content that I was just gleaning from. And that's a great thing. And he's really open to, like, yeah, you got concepts or whatever you from me, just share it out. Um, long, like good long videos too. But I'm not going to play the long videos or anything. But I want to share some notes that I took. I got my notes, my pilot log. The one that I told you about to keep your booty on the land. So, okay, natural law. We're in law school. Welcome. You have matriculated into law school. You didn't know that, right? But we're all in law school. We are law students right now. Okay. And it's a different kind of law school, but that's where we are. Welcome. Welcome. You didn't know, right? All right. So, welcome to law school. So, we're going to talk about natural law, and where, just in regard to where we are right now. And Watership down, I was telling our good sissy girl code, I was saying that I wanted to circle back to Watership down. I read the book in high school and, did projects and things like that. It was always a book that interested me to return to. And I returned to the story, rather, not the book. I'll have to get the book again. But the story was really well done. And it was on YouTube as a little movie, a little feature, and beautifully illustrated. They have it in caption, like, closed caption. So people, I know I try to turn that stuff on here, it doesn't always work. So just know, everyone, whenever I could turn it on and have it available for my videos, I really try to be sensitive to that. Okay. But yeah, it's in, closed caption, and just beautiful. I don't know if I would recommend it for children. I did ask Girl Code, what does she think? And she thinks that maybe a little bit older, maybe a 10-year-old, 10, right? Sissy, let me know. So people who need a, recommendation for it, even though it's a cartoon, not all cartoons are for children, right? So some of the themes have a little bit of violence and stuff like that. So the thing that I want to talk about is this whole aspect of the rabbit hole. A lot of us, we were used to terminology about going down the rabbit hole, and we don't use that terminology as much as we did in 2020. I would say became a big rabbit hole conversation. 2016, I didn't hear the term rabbit hole a lot. Even though the Hillary Clinton laptops and all of that was, a lot of us were getting a lot of disclosure about what's being done to children. A little bit of Epstein Island mixed in with Frazzle Drip. I don't know. You throw your favorite conspiracy in. And this was something that a lot of us in 2016, we went through a big awakening, if you want to say, to some hard truths. And 2020 was really the entry into this rabbit imagery, rabbit conversations. And what is the rabbit hole really? We can discuss that at another time. Like, it's not so much the rabbit hole, it's the imagery of this story, and the fact that rabbits are used. And there are a lot of things going on with rabbits that we can talk about. But I do want to talk about the society of these rabbits, and basically how certain rabbits had certain abilities to discern. You could call it intelligence. And this is the thing that we have been very shocked about, is that so-called authorities in our culture and society, who we trusted to be big brain geniuses, oh, they're doctor this and PhD that and that, uh, nurse practitioner, whatever, physician's assistants, right? Doctor science. And we're learning that intelligence is not just you could take a test and get a degree. Intelligence has a lot to do with the law and truth and courage and love, because intelligence has to do, and we're a lot going on comes to heart. They're really at heart for me, by the way. Where is the heart in matters when it comes to children, especially when it comes to nurturing and having a natural love? Well, natural love goes with natural law, and the further we get away from natural law, the more we will see chaos. It's a direct correlation. So when we, wring our hands and we wonder, why is Joe Biden our president? Well, I've said it before and I'll say it again. Joe Biden is who we deserve. Okay. And I might not make friends with that. Is it freezing still? Did you hear the last shocker I said? Joe Biden is the guy we deserve, people. And I'm willing to say that because we have to get to a place where we can look at ourselves in the mirror, or if you want to look at yourself in your phone, we individually have to get to a place where we can take responsibility for the fact that we allowed it to happen on our watch by being silent, given silent, what do you call it? Compliance. Silence is compliance. And a lot of us need to talk up more and take whatever losses there will be, because there will be losses for speaking up and for telling the truth. But we need more people to speak, to open your mouth. That is a right. That is a right that does not come from any person. That is an immutable right. It's immutable. It does not change. Your rights do not come from government. They do not come from despotic kings or rulers. Your rights come from your creator, God. So your right to speak and to put a standard up against the artificial, the matrix, if you want to call it that. The matrix is running amok right now. And too many of us are afraid to speak out and to take ground and to put a standard up and say, enough. This is the line you will not cross. Period. No, there's no compromising when it comes to immutable truth, objective truth. There is no, you do not compromise it and you do not negotiate it. You do not. When you do that, you wind up where we are right now. And the only way out of it is we need more voices. We need more courage, because cowardice is evilness. A coward is the word. To me, a coward is one of the worst people. A coward to me is so evil. I can't stand cowards. Have I told you all that? It's one of my pet peeves, a coward. And I'm not one of these like out in the street kind of knuck if you buck kind of people. But I don't know what it is in my spirit. I can't stand a coward. And I'm a little tired of being alone on battlefields. A lot of you have felt the same way, alone on the battlefield. Oh, everybody wants to talk about how they want some changes and they want to, yeah, let's go to HR and talk about the bully on the floor who's making everybody want to quit. When it's time to go and do some actionable steps, everybody's like, you know what, I don't want to lose my job. I need this job right now. And it's always something, right? It's enough of that now. You kept your job and your little coins, and where has that gotten you? Where has it gotten us? Because it's really not about you or me at this point. It's about we, because we are in this boat together. And it doesn't matter if you live up in the hills and you can look down on the peasants and throw cake at them. You have to come down from the hill eventually and go to Whole Foods and almost get run over by a Prius, a crazy blue-haired person in a Prius. You have to come down sometimes and almost get hit by a Prius. You have to come down and feel this. So it doesn't matter what hill anyone lives on. We have to care about what has happened on our watch. Because even not just current to where you are, what about the generations that have to inherit this BS? Even if you don't have children, do you want children to walk into schools that have become the most weaponized indoctrination centers? Is that okay? That your tax dollar paying for it? For children to be confused by all of this agenda pushing? It's not okay, everyone. And the children absolutely deserve better. They deserve better. You deserved better. So we got to stop being cowardly. And if you lose your job, guess what? You're still going to be alive. I lost my job 3 years ago. I'm still here. God provides. If you can lose your job over speaking the truth, it was never your job. You weren't supposed to be there. So right now we're looking at a society that, it's nowhere to run because it's all over the world. This group of just barbarians for thousands of years have been running amok and terrorizing people into silence and complacence and compliance. But we need to see more in the way of good people standing up to this and not being bullied into whatever, silence, a corner, whatever, a cry closet. So we got to dust ourselves off too. I know it's heavy. We got to get some inner Johns, as Salty says. I don't know what's going to give you some inner Johns, but you got to tap into some inner Johns, okay? Because it's not time to rest yet and shake a tail feather yet. It's not time, okay? So I want to do a little housekeeping while we're at it. I want to say, I know that, a lot of new people are starting to find, content, okay? And new people, I love you. We love you. Let us know when you're here. It's like when you're, new person at church, raise your hand. We want to welcome you. Now, some new people, they enter and, they might have a few things they want to change around, like move some furniture around. Don't do that. Don't do that, okay? We like the furniture where it is, okay? We want the chair there, we want the table there. We appreciate your suggestions, but we want to keep the furniture where it is, okay? Is that okay? All right. Is that cool? So we like a diverse of opinions. I would like more diversity of opinions, of course. We don't want to be in an echo chamber, but it's all about the way we deliver our suggestions and feedback. Okay, right? So that's just a little housekeeping just to share. It's just like when you're new anywhere, when you go into a friend's house, you don't go into the refrigerator. You don't just assume things. You know what I'm saying? And say, yeah, I don't like how you put your mayonnaise on the second shelf. We don't do it like that. Well, we do. Is that okay? That we put the mayonnaise on the second shelf? Is it okay? It's okay. You might put it on the third shelf, but let us know in a nice way. Just in a nice way. Is that okay? Cuba Libre. That's what I'm talking about. Cuba Libre. I want Cuba free, baby. You don't know how bad I want Cuba to be free. Okay, got me the new name. I want it. Thanks for coaching on how to do this. Oh, you haven't. Who are you, Cuba Libre? Let me know. I have a friend, a Cuban friend. We're on the outs right now. And it's all because of mind. What is it? It's all about worldview, right? I told you about that, and a lot of people are going to be circling back as we get going. 1 minute. You know what, everybody? I'm having a little time with allergies. Are you? I was sneezing a lot earlier, so bear with me, okay? If you have any ideas, I need some local honey. That's what I need. That usually helps me with my allergies. So, yeah, it happens. All right. So, I also wanted to say that, okay, we're hearing about a lot of people dying right now. It's a great, amount of people worldwide that are departing. It's just like an airport. We're having a lot of departures. And you're familiar with, yesterday it was a lot. I saw a younger man, 45, sport another athlete, and then Presley died, and the daughter of Elvis Presley. And they're giving the term, the reason is just very, we don't know. We It's sudden, wasn't expected. It just leave them to their privacy. Don't ask their Jonestown juice status. You can't ask because you're being insensitive and you're prying into their HIPAA, privacy. Now we're going to honor HIPAA, right? Now we're going to honor people's privacy. Now we're going to honor body agency. Now we're going to do my body, my choice. Is that how this works? And see, this is what you have to talk about. We got to talk about this, family. It's not okay to do that because in 2020, everything was about our jungle juice status. What are you going to do? Are you taking the Jonestown juice? What? Show me your papers. Give me your papers. Really? So I had to walk away from a job helping people, a nurse, because I didn't want to have papers. I didn't want to live like the Germans lived in Nazi Germany. I thought it was my business to decide to put an experimental agent into my body because I happen to belong to a group of people that were targeted in the Tuskegee experiments. So I might have a little bit in a grandmother who was jab injured Polio. Ever heard of polio? My grandmother had it from lining up because her friends talked her into it. And it's not okay, everybody. It's not okay. I want to say to any healthcare professional that would stumble on this content, it's not okay to be ignorant. Ignorance is going to lead to destruction. Willful ignorance will lead to worse destruction. It's not okay to be ignorant right now. It's not okay to be stupid and dumb. It's not cute, Cardi B. It's not cute to be dumb. This is not acceptable. It's not acceptable to just be used as a puppet and then insult our intelligence later on because your head of lettuce is $7. It's not okay. See, these are the consequences. And we can do a kumbaya, we can forgive each other, but we're not going to let things slide like they have. And we're not going to care about feelings. F the feelings. F a feeling. When it comes down to being intelligent, and I mean emotionally intelligent, not just you took some test and now you got an MD behind your name or an MP. That's not enough. You don't wield authority. And if you want that authority, you need to know what's inside that syringe that you're pushing into someone's body. You need to be able to stand by that you signed off on that lot, and you can sleep at night knowing that you did not harm someone, that your ignorance didn't harm someone, because that's what we're dealing with. And we're not going to mince words, because you didn't mince words on us. You called us murderers. You accused us of harming everyone, that we weren't doing things for the greater good. Well, guess what? You need to quit your cult, because that's what you're in. You're in what's called a scientific cult, and you need to quit. You need to quit that cult. Let me show you some of the idiots that and I'll say we might have been impressed with at one time. The idiots that are supposed to be authorities. It's not going to be easy for them to, wiggle around us and wield their wrongful authority. They are wrongfully, they don't deserve it. They don't deserve it.
From what we knew at the
Neil
beginning
deGrasse
of COVID to what we know today, what do we know about the vaccine today that we didn't know from what we knew at the beginning of COVID to what we know today? What do we know about the vaccine today that we didn't know while we were all testing it in America, taking it? What have we learned now?
What do you mean testing it on America? There were tests before it was released.
9 months is not a long time to test.
No, but it was tested.
Yeah, but 9 months, the average is 30. The average is 5 to 10 years. I mean, 9 months is not enough.
Okay, so you have to ask. Hold on. It was tested in trials. Okay. By the way, I'm not claiming to be the expert on. But I'm a scientist. It doesn't take. There were trials. That's what the point of phase 1, 2, 3 trials are all about. Tested enough to get data on how to then advise the larger population. Yes, it was tested. For you to say it wasn't tested is a gap between your awareness and understanding how things work and what actually happened. It was tested. If you want it to be tested on millions of people instead of thousands, you can put in for that. You can say say, I don't want this unless millions. That's okay.
Totally fine with me.
Okay.
I'm okay with that.
That's fine. But so based on that, do you say, let's keep testing it while the virus keeps spreading? Okay. Right. So this is the contest between the information you have available to you at that moment and what's going on outside the lab. People are dying. Hospitals are becoming overloaded. We have good data on the 1,000. It's not yet at 1 million, in case you wanted 1 million. Are you going to say, let's still do it on another, let's wait another 6 months so we get another 1 million in here? Will you do that as a public health professional?
No, I would have said, allow the individual to still have a choice that's okay with 1,000 instead of a few million. Leave the person have the choice, not force him to take it, or else you're going to get out of the Marines, and you've been doing this for 14 years. Not force him to take it, or else you have to quit your job as a nurse.
There's a public health
force versus
there's a
choice.
There's a public health contract that you have signed implicitly as a citizen of a country where in part we depend on each other for.
Okay, I'm gonna stop it there. This scientist said we signed a contract implicitly. Do you see how he's not a scientist? He's a psychological psyop operator. This is a liar. And I'm not mincing my words, because that's what I think about you, Neil deGrasse Tyson. You're a liar above all things. And your lies have resulted in harm. And I'm not going to take back what I said. I didn't sign a contract either, Nancy. What the F kind of contract? For public health? Oh, but what about the contract now, Neil deGrasse, that we're looking at every effing day, people dropping dead? And the reason is nebulous. Nebulous. We don't know. We don't know now. I saw something where somebody was in the hospital. I think it was Sharon Osbourne. They said she was in a unknown hospital with unknown diagnosis, everything was unknown. Now we can play around with words. And now it's okay to gaslight the public, entire world. We're talking. It's okay to gaslight people and mince words and play like God, Neil deGrasse. And you were not shaming people who didn't want to be a part of your contract, who did not contract. How dare you? What an idiot. I am so ashamed that I ever thought that he was intelligent. He is a big dummy. He is an idiot. He has no emotional intelligence whatsoever. And he is a pathological liar. This is what we're dealing with. This is like being married to the worst person who will tell you to drop them off at their girlfriend or boyfriend's house. Can you imagine being married to somebody and they're like, can you give me a ride to my boyfriend's house? This is what these people think we're going to put up with. Would you stay in a marriage like that? No, it's time. No, it's time to divorce this cult and get out of it. If you've taken the Jonestown juice, listen, I don't want to shame you. It's not you, it's them. And if you pushed it, let me just give a little warning to anybody who would listen and be wise. If you are shaming people, and if you are pushing stuff that's experiment and you're not respecting people, that they have done research and they have decided that this is something they don't want in their body, if you have pushed it, if you've taken money, if you've literally pushed it for a paycheck, just know your repentance needs to be intense, because karma is coming. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming swift. Everybody, you look at the people who were talking about anti-vaxxers, like as if they were like had a tail and horns. Anti-vaxxers, you anti-vaxxers. You are going to regret the hatred. That's hatred and projection. And guess what? God is making it right. Be afraid. You lived in fear. You need to fear the Lord Almighty, because he is not playing these games. He's not playing these games. People are going to be humbled. All this ego that Neil deGrasse has, he's going to be humbled. This idiot here who calls himself, I'm a scientist. Guess what? Scientists will be the equivalent of a dummy, a big fat dummy. Who the F cares about science right now? We're not impressed. I don't give a damn what school, Harvard. Listen, they had effing Epstein's up in Harvard University. He had a freaking office in Harvard. You want to still be impressed with Harvard University, Harvard, University of Penn. University of Penn is allowing a man to swim and beat the damn doors off of all the girls, the women. I said it, because you know what? Women, you better start taking ground back. And it's not through no damn feminism. Feminism has absolutely jumped the shark so much that now you are replaced. You've signed on. Talk about a contract. You contracted, idiot feminist. You contracted to be replaced. How does that feel? But us women who aren't feminist, we're not going to put up with that BS. You have to have a womb to be a womb man. Did you hear me? You have to have a womb. That's the contract. Do you have a womb? And you can't take one. That's not, you're breaking laws. You're breaking natural laws by taking wombs and playing around with that type of surgery down in Brazil. You don't think Brazil's being judged? You don't know the kind of experiments and the Nazis that hide out in Brazil, the boys of Brazil, anybody? Yeah, Brazil's getting judged. They're under severe judgment for the poverty, for the standards that they allow people to live in the favelas. It's not okay. They have children roaming around like feral animals, engaged in crime. You can't even go to Rio de Janeiro and on the beach safely. They have blood on the sand, everyone. Blood on the sand. You want to be, oh, the girl from Ipanema. You'll be shot on the beach. Blood on the beach. You want to go passport bros? You want to go take advantage of poor women that you couldn't get in your own country? They're not going to pay you no mind in your own country. You have to go to poor countries. How does that feel? And then you want to start a YouTube channel and flex on people because you can buy a woman who's poor, who just wants to fill her refrigerator up, and you would take advantage and get a passport stamp for that? You think that's going to go over well? You're coming back in body bags, aren't you? Keep playing, because that's not okay. Keep playing with God's people, and you will wind up in a body bag being shipped back with a GoFundMe if you're lucky. Keep playing. Because this is the year. If you want to play clown games, you're going to get clown prizes, because that's natural law. And guess what? Natural law, if you're a moral person who does no harm, you will be fine. If you're causing harm to anyone because you have influence and power over someone, I know you're not sleeping right now. I know you're not enjoying your ill-gotten gain. You will not enjoy your ill-gotten gain. There you are. It was all for naught, because nobody is going to mock God and his creation and get to live up in the hill in peace. Kim Kardashian. No peace for the evil doers. They don't enjoy their lives because they break the laws of nature. That's why their wombs are tombs. Their wombs are tombs. You got young women who have to get a surrogate to carry a baby. Where have you heard of that before? Because the wombs are cursed. And I said it, science. That's my science. The wombs are cursed because they thought that we contracted to turn our wombs into tombs. And because the propaganda has been so strong, some of us went ahead and had our babies put on the altar of Baal, of Moloch. We put our babies through the fire for a college degree and a Louis Vuitton bag. Guess what, women? Judgment's here. And if you still want to support abortion, you think that's a cute thing to support, get ready for more judgment, because that issue alone is one of the biggest things that is done to offend a holy God. Raphael Warnock, what a joke. This is supposed to be a pastor here in Georgia. What a disgrace. God will deal so very harshly with an individual who thinks they're going to be in a pulpit encouraging abortion. I don't call it choice. It's abortion. It's murder. And this country is under judgment. I don't care that Roe v. Wade was, I know some of you little fake ass Christians want to celebrate that stuff, but guess what? The abortions are still happening. You thought you had a victory? No, it's not a victory. Because the abortions are still, they got sanctuaries where you could kill a baby after the baby's born. I saw recently a piece of footage where a woman in England was praying in front of one of these butcher mills, baby butcher mills. She was praying. Do you know what the cops were doing? How dare the cops over in England? They arrested the woman. She wasn't saying anything. She was standing in front of the baby butcher mill and she was praying. I've done that. I've done that, praying in front of the butcher mill. She got locked up for it. And she was asking the cop, what have I done? He said, what are you doing? She said, I'm praying inside my head. She said, I'm praying inside my head. He said, come on. They had the paddy wagon. Come on. You're coming with us. She was like, what have I done? Come on. So cops, I know a lot of us are back the blue. No, we don't just blindly back something. We're not doing that anymore with you all. We're all quitting our cults because that's a cult too. Back the blue. No, it's not back every blue. Are you going to back what happened to this woman? Basically, she's being locked up for a thought crime for praying inside her head. And any cop that would honor arresting someone like that, you're in big trouble because you are violating the rights of the people. I don't care what kind of paychecks you get. You're not even being paid anyway. You're being used and pimped out to make money for the state. You're being pimped out to collect money. And you're okay with that? You are not supposed to break your oath. You have an oath to uphold the Constitution, not to uphold what George Soros or anybody else is paying and affecting politics. You are in trouble doing stuff like that to the people. And you're not respected from the people who have given you those orders. You are laughed at and you're nothing but fodder to them. So I'm not blindly backing no damn blue. When I see violations like that, that needs to be spoken about. People need to speak up. That's not okay. It's not. So the cops, y'all gonna have to start upholding the Constitution because you're not gonna get support. And you're not a damn hero. Goes for the military as well. You're not supposed to violate people's rights. I don't care if you're overseas and they told you to drone a wedding, you're not supposed to do that. I don't care. These wars and all this just straight wickedness that's been going on around the world. You got to stop being paid mercenaries for these people. It's not okay. I'm not going to keep saying that this is patriotism and that you're fighting for my freedoms. I'm not going to do that anymore. I am quitting the cult. Period. I am not backing military and private mercenaries that are going overseas and are murdering people for profit, for the globalist agendas. No, we're not going along with it. We have gone along with it too long. It's too much. We have researched too much now. It's enough. Because see, that goes into, we want to fight human trafficking, yet we're causing it by being over in these countries and decimating the fabric of their society. We are making their people vulnerable, the women and the children. And then they are put into brothels. And every horrible thing that you went down the rabbit hole to learn, panda eyes and frazzle drip and walnut sauce. So if that upsets you, then we need to be upset that our military, yes, is being used by globalists to go over and destabilize countries. It's not okay. Because it's like, why fight human trafficking? Why care? If we're going to we're just going to allow Congress and Condoleezza and all these people lie to us, then guess what? We're going to have 20 plus years of the Patriot Act. You're welcome. 20 plus years of a Patriot Act. And look at how they name the things. They don't have any respect for us. They name it Patriot Act. It's not okay. So people like Neil deGrasse, he needs to be ashamed of himself. He needs to repent. Neil deGrasse Tyson, you're no longer the man anymore. You're going to be a laughingstock, Neil deGrasse Tyson. You're not going to be the fun guy at the cocktail party when people start talking about somebody died suddenly. Somebody has myocarditis. You're not going to be cool suddenly. You're going to want to get into the corner and maybe slip out the door. You're not the man anymore. That goes for any of these expert authorities. They're not going to be sought after when 2023 really gets going, because it just started. Neil deGrasse ain't going to be invited to the cocktail parties. I have a feeling. And all that bombastic talking, you should see the whole interview. He gets all, because he has to do that. Get all emotional. What kind of scientist gets all emotional? He can't debate the facts. This guy ate him up. Ate him up. It was light lifting because Neil deGrasse is just spewing just talking points from the cult of science. This guy is just spitting straight facts. He's just asking him simple questions that the science should be able to answer. Neil deGrasse says we contracted. Well, guess what? Not all of us did. And those of them that contracted for it, the contract wasn't done lawfully because you're supposed to give full informed consent. And that wasn't done. So there are a lot of laws that have been broken, a lot of natural laws that have been broken with this Jonestown jab. And people were not told, yeah, maybe they didn't do. He's lying and saying they've done enough science and testing. It did enough research. They didn't have enough time to do enough research. And for those of them that, listen, they didn't. And the research is post-marketing. That's the real research. Post-marketing, that means everybody in the population that has taken the Jonestown juice, they are now in a research program. That's the research. They wanted us to become the research. And a lot of times that's what Big Pharma does. I won't get into all the Big Pharma. We'll talk about that another time. I worked in Big Pharma 10 years. And they don't do the kind of research that they want us to believe. It's in post-marketing that they get their real data. And I don't think that was disclosed, Neil deGrasse, you disgusting person. Disgusting, stupid man. So I want to play a little bit of Watership Down. There's a lot to Watership Down. In fact, our sissy has watched it with me and has so much to say about it. But I want to play a few little parts, okay? It's just really sweet.
Oh, Hazel, this is where it comes from. I know now. A terrible thing is coming.
What do you mean?
Look. The field. The field. It's covered with blood.
Blood? Don't be silly. All right, Fiver. Getting dark. I think we should get back to the burrow.
Back to the burrow? It'll come there. Don't think it won't. It's all around us.
Now stop it, Fiver.
We've got to go away from here. All of us.
Go away? Well, the whole warren?
Yes, before it's too late.
Being silly. They will come, they'll think of your mind.
You must listen to me, Hazel. Something very bad is going to happen.
Well, I suppose we better try and see the Chief Rabbit. You can tell him about it, but I don't know.
We've got to go away from the warren. All of us.
Go away?
Yes, before it's too late.
Is there something wrong? What's he on about?
What's the matter, do you think?
Is there danger?
Come on, let's find out what's happening.
Hazel? It is Hazel, isn't it?
It is.
What are you doing here?
We want to see the Chief Rabbit, Bigwig.
We? You mean he wants to see him too?
Yes.
I must.
What's it all about? What do they want? They want to see the Chief Rabbit. What for?
Well, I have to
Send them away. I'll take care of it, Holly.
Bigwig. Ever.
Oh, well. All right, all right.
Wait here.
Okay, looks like having a little issue. Of course, wouldn't be StreamYard if it wasn't. Maybe I'll stop it here because we could tell you what some of this is. Hey, Sissy, welcome. We've got Girl Code here. Hey, Girl Code, do you hear me?
I can hear you, Sissy.
Can you hear me,
Hello.
Girl
Hello
Code?
to everyone. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Hello.
So,
Yes,
Sissy,
indeed.
I
How
can go
are
back.
you?
Well, thank you so much for asking. I can go back out because I noticed that with StreamYard, when you have your guests come in, for some reason, it just acts crazy. So do you want me to go back out and then I'll just recall in hopes that maybe the movie will play a little better?
No. That's okay. I'll play like a little another snippet, but go ahead. I want you to jump in because you had some really good decodes. Now, everybody, I would highly recommend from just what I saw of this little movie here. It is by Richard Adams. Okay, I wasn't able to put the link in, I'm sorry, in time before I sent this into, but if you look up Watership Down from 1978 by Richard Adams, I think it was really well done for people who read the book. Of course, it's different, but I thought they did a really good job. What about you, Girl Code?
I did. It was so well illustrated and well put together. It was beyond its time, that's for sure. For a picture to be put together in the 70s, the early 70s, I want to say 72, it was amazing. It was amazing. I really did enjoy this.
Oh my gosh, Girl Code, you got to say hi to Eavesdropper. Everybody, let's give some love to Eavesdropper. I love it. I am starting to see some of my old homies dropping in the chatmosphere.
Right.
This is I love it. Hey,
Okay, then.
eavesdropper, welcome, welcome. Oh my gosh, this is awesome. So, okay, I want to talk about some of the things you mentioned from Watership Down. Yeah, this is going to be what do they call it? Like, spoiler alert! Kisses, smooches, smooches. This is my good brother eavesdropper. Everybody, yes, let's give some love.
Hi,
So, okay,
eavesdropper.
so
Hello, hello.
thank you. So, okay, what was your initial impression? Because I sold this movie to you. I was like, please, sissy, watch this movie with me. So, what was your impression when you first watched it?
The movie, as I said, it was such a great movie. And my takeaway on this movie was the way, that the power structure, if you will, looks at the populations of America. Okay. So I took it as, you had these different family of rabbits, and one particular family was extremely special. Unfortunately, though, the four-parent of one of the special groups, the four-parent had turned his back against God, and so in doing that, it caused a curse, if you will, to come upon that family. And it was a very special family. And what God did was he had all these different rabbits, and he showed this family that, listen, when you look around, there's going to be lots of other animals and other people, and these people and these animals are going to hunt you, and they're going to want to always kill you. Okay. So this family was of this family of rabbits was living together in their warren, or in their their rabbit burrow. And then you had two of the younger ones, named Fiver and Hazel, who were brothers, and they saw impending doom, impending danger come about. And that's what you saw when the video started to break up. And so they were going to see like the chief rabbit, you know what I mean? The RIC, the big rabbit in charge. And he's so cute. He just basically, just shooshed them away and called them lunatics. They're crazy. They're like, we gotta go, just danger's coming. We gotta go. And so, it's a few rabbits who reluctantly went with Fiver and Hazel, and they were even beat up and just pretty much poked at for wanting to, follow the lead of the two rabbits that had the insight, if you will. And so the long and short of it is that, you follow this tale as the rabbits, try to find a safe haven. And there's only one woman or girl or lady rabbit within the whole entire rabbit group. Is one girl. She ends up getting killed during the trek to, this new place. And it was as if none of the other rabbits cared that this girl was killed. I won't say how. I won't try to give that much of a spoiler alert, or spoiler, because I know that I'm giving away a lot. And no one cared that this girl rabbit, the little lady bunny, was killed, except for Fiver and Hazel. So what that taught me was that, or what that showed me, and what I took away from that was that these two bunnies were the only bunnies that had a sense of feeling, a sense of, empathy, if you will. And so, they go ahead and they encounter, all sorts of things. And, it's a very, very good movie. I can keep going, but I think I'll just stop there. And it just, the shortage of women, or the shortage of the girl bunnies was very prevalent. There weren't any, and the one that there was killed, and nobody cared about that. And so there's a lot more symbolism, but I'll just stop there and I'll let Sissy take it from there, or ask me something else from there.
That's awesome. Like, okay, everybody, like Girl Code, she of course decoded this movie. I was like blown away. But some of the themes that when I initially read this book in high school, I don't know if we heard, like we didn't get into some of the things that you brought up, and the issue of the women, they didn't have a balance in their society, of it was just all men. And it relates to some of the stuff that's happened right at this time in our society, where you have men are discontented with the women in their countries, women are discontented, and this has all been created. It's all created stuff. And these bunnies, it was just heavily male. And why don't you tell them about the part where, maybe I could find it, where they were going to try to find some women. Maybe I can find that part. What did you think about that, when they were going to try to find?
Yeah, that was really, it was really a cute part of the movie, and it was also heavy symbolized as well. And so they, on their mission to find a new home, they meet this quirky bird, and the bird, you'll see, is actually symbolizing a Chinese person. And the bird has, the Chinese accent, and he's telling them, like, well, you don't have a plan, like, where are the ladies at, where's the women, like, so he's basically showing them that they're unable to repopulate, and soon they'll die out, if you will. And so he tells the family that he knows where there is, girl bunnies at. And so the girl bunny, so they go over to where these girl bunnies are being held up. So they're in prison, these other rabbits, and they don't have a sense of what it is to be free, or, quote unquote, a wild rabbit, And so when they come across, Fiverr and Hazel come across what the bird was showing them, these girl bunnies, they're just as cute as they want to be, and they're in behind their cage there. And so Hazel says, hey, do you want to be free? We can actually do whatever we want to do. We come and go as we want. And of course, this trip to where these bunnies were didn't happen without incident, as they had encountered, the family dog and the family cat, and the family dad and the family son that was, like, hunting them and hearing noises and ready to, do damage unto them. And so they did find the actual females, and the females just didn't have a sense of, what it was to be free. They found that was quite strange.
Yes, yes, yes. As you can see, this is the part where the little, domesticated bunnies are living in a cage, basic slavery. And these free bunnies, free range bunny rabbits, are telling them about freedom. And they have no concept of what freedom is. So it's pretty amazing how, they wanted to go get female bunnies that were already in captivity. They didn't have many wild bunnies to choose from, right?
That's right, Sissy. That's right. And it was a terrifying thought for them that, they could go out in the wild. They thought that was, quite scary, just as some of us do without the instruction of, government, if you will, or those that, tell us that you should eat 3 times a day. Here's what you should eat. This is the best place to work. And by the way, if you want to work and earn the right amount of monetary coins, and this is the best school you should go to. So it was very reminiscent. It gave me that, they needed to have that, that power structure over them, or else they would feel a sense of uncomfortability in the wild. And so that's what that part was about.
Yeah. Oh, and then we like this little bird. Let me see if maybe it will. Boy, I always do this. I pop out the thing. Um, bear with me, everybody. I wanted them to hear me, but he even knew that it was not balanced. They had all males. He knew that they needed some women to balance their society out. I don't know if it will play it, but
Oh, I'm sorry. I hope I'm not
let
breaking
me
it up.
see.
Like, I have a knack of like shredding technology into a million pieces. So I hope it's not my fault.
It floats, Hazel. It floats.
You could kind of see where they live in these burrows, like Girl Code is saying, but not to do too much of the movie. It has so many themes to it, and it deals with those that are afraid, that want safety. That was another thing that hit me, Girl Code, is that the one bunny always wanted to be reassured. Oh, are we going to be safe? Are we going to be safe? And that's something that we have to grow up as people, always requiring a guarantee of safety, when in truth, safety is an illusion. And if we have to be motivated to feel a sense of safety in order to be courageous and live life, we're going to absolutely get the opposite. Because anybody who requires a guarantee all the time, is it gonna work out? Am I gonna be safe? If I speak out, am I gonna lose my job? That will ultimately result in loss, in a lot of loss. And it's dangerous, especially at this time in our human history. It is very dangerous to give authority to people that have not been given authority to rule over you, and to make decisions based on fear is going to result in harm, not just to you, but to others. Now they're pushing this stuff on children. So, because not enough people spoke up, it progresses. So they're trying to come up with more stuff to terrorize people into compliance and fear. And we have to stand up to it. We really do. We have to be united. However, all of the politics and the things that get in the way, we just have to get it. We have to get through this, and we have to succeed and get back to natural law. And that's what I noticed. Like, Girl Code, they wanted to get up to the Watership down, like this beautiful. They wanted to go high, and the one bunny that got the vision, God gave the vision to. He knew, like, he just knew that once they arrived there, that is where they should be. What did you think about that?
Yes, that's very true. And the construct, the familial construct, was a little twisted, just like we see today. You have the two youngest bunnies. if you will, and they're the ones that are, trying to warn the older generation, or those that, you think of the older generation, you think of wisdom, you think of, leaders, and you think of safety when you think of, you know, grandma's home, or, your great auntie and that sort of thing. And so, but we didn't have that here. We had the two youngest of the clan who were picking up on their abilities to, find safety, if you will. And also it gave me a strong resemblance of Moses, leading the tribe of Israel, or, the children to this promised land. So it gave me that as well. And, of course, the other bunnies were continuing to, you know, bicker amongst each other, and, continue to, second guess. They would have rather been back at the Warren or the Burrow, and, just risk being in danger, because this new journey was just quite uncomfortable for them. So it was, are we there yet? Are we there yet? Like, so then they start to, come against the two younger bunnies, because they're starting to believe that, because the trip is taking quite some time, that, this isn't going to work out. And they just assume that they would have rather been where they, knew it to be a comfortable place. And so, though, and I also noticed that those that did not, think that they would be safe, ultimately weren't safe. Sort of like the same thing we see today, as Sissy said, with the pandemic and all of that, those that were driven off of fear, those that tried to, drive others into fear, family members, co-workers, this thing is real, okay, because they don't realize how psychotic these white coats are. They don't realize that people will really murder individuals under the guise of being helpers, if you will, under the guise of being, assisting you into this, longevity, and, trying to protect the world. So it makes it real, because death is a real thing. And that's what you get with black magic. Okay. So, the outcome is actually real, but the fear is actually a thing of your imagination that they will drive into you if you allow that to happen. And so we did see that within this particular movie as well.
Absolutely. And, this is a time right now for us we have to have a posture of forgiveness. And we can be stern and loving also. So when they want to tell you to put masks on, I think right now, for a lot of people who want to do their research, if they're still in masks and they're kind of tired of it, which I would think anybody would be by now, to do the research, you don't have to go far. You can look at Leanna Wen, she was a so-called authority, a real stupid one, just like Neil deGrasse. And yes, I'm not being nice when I don't care about being nice. Leanna Wen is stupid, if you know who I'm talking about. She's that talking head who has backtracked, and she said, no, we didn't tell you to wear a mask. We said it was just facial decoration. I have to say, I didn't wear masks, but that offended me. I felt like, wow, this is somebody who was scaring people and shaming people. And now this bitch wants to turn around and say, I didn't say that. When you can go and look at just last year, all the rhetoric and the propaganda that she was spewing on CNN or anywhere else. And she's supposed to be a doctor. She did a TED Talk. I hope by now we're not that impressed with TED Talks. They had a pedophile doing a TED Talk about pedophilia. So all of this stuff, like, we can't be impressed with this stuff. And, if they want to come up with new variants and get people to do a rinse and repeat of 2020, I would hope more people would stand up and look at the people that lost out. We lost jobs, we lost friends, some people lost spouses, but guess what? We're still here and we're not shutting up either. So you can either, decide to join the side of lawful and truthful, loving, beauty, organic, and natural. You can honor truth and learn how to honor it and search for it, but we're not going to play the games. And we would encourage anybody not to keep playing these games because these games are dangerous. They are playing a dangerous game of harming people. So, when I look at like this movie, it's so much to it. Like, let's talk about this, Sissy, like the whole womb and the matrix. What do you feel about that sort of connection? Because bunny rabbits, I want to show you all something about, I want to ask if anybody knew about this because I had to think about, it's like a vague memory, but I want to bring up something and I want to see what you think, Sissy. There is something called the rabbit test. Okay. And let me show you what the rabbit test is. And I didn't know there was a movie.
Okay. So yeah, get
I didn't
that
know it was
together.
made.
And so like, look, let me share this part of the movie if I can. The as you said, you know,
Oh, yeah.
when people are encouraging things that's not right and people are not thinking for themselves, it causes harm. And that's what happened with the rabbits that did not heed the warning were actually unalived due to the doom and the danger that did come along. There was actually one rabbit who escaped from all of the rabbits that was there, and without extreme injury, maybe one more injury, that rabbit wouldn't have been alive. I don't know if you agree with that, sis. Like, the one rabbit that did get away was pretty mangled and shattered.
Yes.
Okay, and then the others that sat back and they called them fools, they didn't make it out. Okay, so it really was a dangerous situation that ended up occurring. And so those that didn't listen did get harmed, or
Yeah.
they did die.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I'm glad you made it because there is a really high cost to not listening to wisdom and truth and to being fearful and following the cult, because that's what it is. It is cultish at this point. If you can't question things, you're in a cult. So yeah, and it will bring harm. There's no bliss in this type of ignorance. So it's time to grow up as human beings. We have to. Um, Now this right here, which I was surprised, Girl Code, I didn't know about this movie, but there was a movie called The Rabbit Test. Now it says you don't hear rabbit test or the rabbit died much anymore. But if you watch old movies or television shows, you might hear the phrase, the rabbit died. Simply, a rabbit test is any test that uses a rabbit as a subject animal. And more specifically, it refers to a pregnancy test. The phrase, the rabbit died, is a slang expression meaning a positive result on a pregnancy test. The use of rabbit test to mean a lab test using a rabbit dates to at least 1908, when it appears in an article in the Journal of Biological Chemistry in reference to a test for specific bacteria that cause putrefaction in tissue. So they had a practice of using the rabbits to test for pregnancy related hormones in human urine from 1931. It's funny that the University of Pennsylvania was where they did this test, this practice. So, what do you think of that? I won't go into this whole article, but what
I
do you
think
think of that? Like,
I
do
think
this?
Yeah, I think it's quite interesting because as we came up, they did associate rabbits with multiple pregnancies or multiple births, and the women that did like to have a lot of children, within their family, they were considered to be getting buck wild like a rabbit, all the time because they produced a lot of children. And I also found very reminiscent with what you're talking about and the actual Watership down, as well as the pandemic, is that I know that some of our family members can relate to 2019. They were hell bent on running around and conducting these census, if you will. And then and these census, they kept asking, is anybody having a baby? Is anyone pregnant? Is anyone? And I took away after I watched Watership down. I took away that census was to get a take on how many pregnant women that there were in America, because this particular year in 2019, the census was they were very aggressive, if you will. They would say, oh, you don't have what I left you, would you like me to stay here while you fill this out? When's a good time that I can come back to see the head of the household? And they were just overly aggressive. And I do know that when they were looking for Christ, that they had conducted a census before they went ahead to kill a lot of the children in that particular village. In Bethlehem at that time. So I find that you're bringing up pregnancy to be very relatable.
Yes. And being that we are living in a time where we have a small group of people who are just subverting our culture and living in absolute deception and wanting us to accept it. This movie, let me just say this, that another component I didn't realize, I'm looking at this picture, Billy Crystal is a man and he's pregnant. By the way, Joan Rivers is in this movie. So Rabbit Test is a 1978 American comedy and world's first pregnant man. Okay. So actually, Joan Rivers co-wrote this starring Billy Crystal. This was the only directing effort by Joan Rivers, who plays a nurse in a brief scene, while her daughter Melissa Rivers also has a bit part. Oh, her husband Edgar, I remember him. He committed suicide, but so this was something where it's known as the rabbit test, a medical procedure used for several decades in the 20th century to determine pregnancy. Now, don't you find that weird that we're dealing with men being pregnant, they're claiming, and this whole issue of replacing women? What is a woman? How do you feel about that?
Please don't get me started on that. I feel like you dropped the spoon on that one. I feel that, as we, talk about often, but we never really bring it to, any sort of videos. I feel that this erasing of the woman is extremely abusive. It's encouraged, and I feel that it is, so they weaponize, the men. They separate. That's what it is. You separate the men from the women, and then you come against each one of them separately. And so I feel that these men that now want to be the very woman or women that is very despicable to me. Okay, it's very despicable, and we see this in people, within, even the YouTube world. You'll see the men who are, transgender. You cannot call them anything but a she, or else, you're a phobic this and you're a phobic that, and they do not like women. They do not like like men, and as you said earlier today, Sissy, and then they claim that we want to be them, that every man wants them. It is an extremely disgusting thing that's taking place, and everybody has the mask on their mouth about it, and it's just it's sickening at this point.
It is. And this is where this is a call to action, women and men too. But women especially, because we allow a lot of stuff and we try to fiend and act like we don't have power when we really do. And that's very disingenuous to fiend helplessness. Not in America, you're not. You can't get away with that BS here in America. You're not helpless. So we need more women to stand up for you being a woman. It's not just for everyone, it's for you. If you're a woman, a biological woman with a womb, doesn't matter if you've used it or not for babies or whatever, but it's time to stand up and say enough is enough. We will not be replaced, and we're not playing with all this jargon and terminology. Men cannot have babies. That's it. There is no negotiating these. This is what I call natural law. And it can't be, it's immutable. You can't change what facts, objective truth. And see, that's the thing. I know we say my truth and your truth. Truth is not subjective. It doesn't go by feelings that I wake up one day and I want to put a wig and heels on. I've talked about that. I'm very offended at this point. Men cannot have babies. And again, being a woman is much more than putting on a wig and some makeup, because the complex, biological processes that women go through, it is something that if you haven't gone through it, you cannot claim to be it. You can't tell me, you're not an authority, in other words. So this is something that if we continue to allow this to happen, we're going to have a more degraded society, and we're going to lose freedoms. See, this is how freedom is lost, when people don't stand up to deception. Outright, this is weaponized deception. And it's not okay because it's harming people. This is what I'm talking about. It's like if we live by, we're going, like I said, we're in law school now. We're law school students. And if we want natural law, it's natural law is a set of universal truths. These are not man-made truths, and they're immutable. And the thing is that we have to be moral. It calls for being moral, because what this subversion is doing to people in our world, it's demoralizing. It's very demoralizing. That's why you might feel like you don't have energy. You don't want to go out anymore and look at people in mass. You're just so over it if you're in a place where they're still doing this stupid stuff. It's not okay. It's not okay. It's not going to be normalized. We can't allow that to be normalized, because that's abuse. It's absolute abuse. And, because we're standing up to it, we can't be the only ones doing it. That's the problem. Too many people think in their mind, like, I wish I could. You have to do it this time. In 2023, it's going to get intense, and we need more voices. More voices. No more cowards. Cowards are really going to catch it. So, this aspect of men now, having babies and all this, stuff with gender, we have to stop what's happening to young people. We have to set a standard. We have to protect them. This is not fair, because they have regrets. They're being turned into pharmaceutical consumers for the rest of their lives. They don't do well. I mean, look at this. Like, they had one of the first ones, her name is Jess or something. You all know what I'm talking about, Jess? Jess is going through a lot right now with all these hormones and weight fluctuations and depression and regret. But the cameras aren't really having a fun time with the aftermath. And that's what, see, we can't go along with psychopaths that want to say they're scientists like Neil deGrasse. That's not okay because people are being harmed by lies. He said, oh, the hospitals were filled. I could, again, show you on my phone empty hospital room after empty hospital room in New York City in 2020. I was there. So you can't gaslight. And it has to be more voices. You have to be able to risk being unpopular and being an outcast and being excommunicated from this cult. It's very dangerous and it's harming people. So, yeah, we have to, learn about natural law, because natural law and morality is the way out. What do you have to say to that, Sissy?
I agree. I agree. I apologize. I got kicked out there for a second. You are so right about that. And I don't know if people realize that, but Neil deGrasse Tyson was actually the gentleman who had created the vaccine to be able to bend the genders, if you will. So he was playing around with these frogs, okay, fresh out of scientific chemistry school or whatever they, these hidden alchemists, whatever they want to call themselves. Selves by way of title, but he was the one who developed that by way of fertilizers and things of that nature. And I'm online. Wait a second. And so he is actually single-handedly responsible. He holds a big responsibility for the children that would get these scheduled vaccines. And then you can hold these debates with family members and say, well, do you think that this is a learned behavior? Do you think that they're born this way? And you see the little boys, they want baby dolls, they cross their legs, and they just have really pretty much female tendencies, and they're very adamant that they feel that they are not who they were born to be, or the natural gender that they were born. They don't feel attached to that. And in a large part, it's not their fault. I feel all the way it's not their fault. It is the fault of these demonic scientists like Neil deGrasse. Okay, so he needs to be held accountable. America needs to be held accountable for bending the genders. And if they understood why they didn't feel like the genders of which God appointed them, they would want to hold them more accountable as well. Okay, and I'll just say, sorry guys, I'm running up and down the stairs. I'll just also say too that they want to say, well, I don't feel bad that this person is being canceled, this artist, this rapper, or because let's be frank, it was the melanated race who was the last to be shunned, if you will, the last to be silenced, because they would say different things about not being okay with the bending of the genders and this sort of thing. And then, shortly thereafter, we started to see them put them in dresses. We started to see them play roles of, the reversal roles, if you will. And, a lot of times the proper thing to say is, well, I don't have anything against this one or that one. I have these people in my family, and it's true, we all do. However, to torture and to bully everyone into acceptance is not the fair thing to do. To bully everyone to feel comfortable with wanting drag queens to read to our children is not a fair thing. Okay. And so this is where I draw the line. This is where I have a problem at. Already you're not taking responsibility for what you did, what you created. These non God did not create these people. This is Satan's creation. And then you want me to be okay and muzzle me in acceptance? No, I'm not going to do that. I refuse to do it. It's not right. And they need to be held accountable. So I ask that we all come together in this moment, okay? And we all touch and agree that, dear God, we ask you to hold these evildoers accountable for all of their wicked counsel that they hold over us that we don't know about, all of their wicked schemes that they have been putting on the people, all of the devices that they have been using on the people. We ask you to continue to expose these devices, God. We thank you for the exposure that we have been having these past years. We thank you for the growing family members. We ask you to touch and heal anyone who has been harmed by these vaccines, misled into believing that these were some sort of tool of healthy and safety nets. And we believe in you that we will be here to witness the day that all of these wicked scientists and doctors and politicians be held accountable. In your name, we pray for these things. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you for that. That's powerful. Yes, we must keep praying. And this is the time and season for some serious prayer. We have to care. We have to care because that's the natural thing that's being knocked out of women, because women are the nurturers and the caretakers, and that's just how a balanced society is. Women are not the ones on the battlefields and protecting and doing all this, strenuous labor and all of this stuff. So women have to get back in touch with an intelligence, and you could call it a feminine intelligence that deals with the heart again, that is not okay with abortion. Abortion has to be, we have to get to a point where abortion is unthinkable, not so much illegal, because they made it legal to do it. It is unlawful, and it should be unthinkable. And that's the kind of society, when we get back to the place where women are back in a natural and organic mindset and heart, and are intelligent and not stupid dummies like Cardi B. We should not uphold stupidity anymore. That should be shunned, and she should not be able to monetize stupidity, because you can hear that she does have intelligence, right? She doesn't even let her own children listen to the crap that she creates for other people's children. That's not okay. She's a big hypocrite. And that's very Luciferian, satanic, whatever you want to call it. She plays both sides. And that should be put in a place where she can't do it. It is unthinkable for a woman to create garbage, horror culture music, and then she doesn't let her own kids listen to it. She knows better. That's what it shows you. She's just a whore for money. And that's terrible. She'll let your child stumble on these horrible lyrics and this horrible rhythm that makes people want to act like a jungle bunny. Yeah, I said that too. It just flew out. Sorry. A jungle bunny. I'll say it again if you didn't hear it the first time. So, the perverse nature of how the feminine has been just degraded, it has to stop. We have to stand up, women. We have to be virtuous. We have to define and have enough self-respect and self-love that we will not let somebody tell us that a man can have a baby and that a man is somebody to tell us how to be a woman. They actually had the nerve to say that Caitlyn Jenner was going to give women some advice. Yeah, right. Caitlyn Jenner. What a disgrace to think that he would have advice for women. And I did say I misgendered him, but it's not against the law, okay? I will misgender people. I don't care. Whatever I perceive a person to be, I will have respect for individual people, but this agenda, I do not have respect for it because it doesn't respect me. And it has to be a two-way reciprocal thing. I'm not being respected as a woman. My sister here and anybody else biologically born a girl, a female future woman is being disrespected.
Damn
and
right.
we have to have enough self-respect and self-love to say enough. Enough. So we will not stay silent. We will not. And we don't care. I don't care about names. I've been called everything. I lost everybody that, I needed to lose, I guess. But the door is open for people, whatever. You want to reconcile, go ahead. Let's do it. But I'm just saying right now, also moving forward, me and Girl Code are doing some exciting things moving forward. And we want to offer more solutions when it comes to healing that tortured child that a lot of us have, the tortured child that needs to heal from whatever it is, abandonment. A lot of us have abandonment issues. That's why this gender war, this manosphere and womansphere, spewing all this hateful rhetoric is because you've been hurt. A lot of the guys in the manosphere have been through terrible divorces and they're bitter. And the same with the women, they're bitter. And a bitter root of hatred, it doesn't it's not going to lead to a good place. If we keep doing this, we're going to keep having people replacing us women. We're going to have artificial wombs. You probably saw that dystopic center where they have all these, like, did you see that, Girl Code, where they have all these freaking, let me go, I'm going to look for it. Girl Code, tell me what you're thinking about some things. I'm going to find this. I want to show you something that some people may have seen, but I want to show. So what are you thinking, Girl Code? Share.
You know what, you hit the nail on the head. And it is about solutions. It is about coming to terms with things. The more and more you talk, the more you can realize who you are, going within yourself. What part do we play? I mean, I always say we can change timelines, okay? And we can point out a lot of injustices in the world and a lot of things that are wrong with other people, but we want to help everyone go inside in your inner self. And Jen and I will be lending ourselves out to you, so that we could have a reconvene of the inner self with you, and that can just help shed light on any past experiences or traumas that you may have been dealt. We have never sold anything on any one of our platforms. And wait, okay, give me 1 second, baby. And we've never sold anything, but we do want to give ourselves. We want to give ourselves unto you. And you guys are going to see here soon that we will be actually creating like a short video with an introduction that will give you a lot more details. And I think that the family is going to be really excited about all that we have planned for you and us. We're going to be doing retreats at, and this summer will be our first annual retreat. So, get your pre-excitement going and we'll be sharing all the details with you. And I think that this is just another way to bring our family close together.
Hmm. Yes, exciting stuff. We know it's hard. We know 2023 is going to be hard. We feel it. We've been discerning this, and we want to provide like a solution. We want to be part of the healing. This has been our heart from the beginning, you know. And this right here, I wanted to show, this is what I was referring to. They so-called allegedly have facilities where they have these artificial wombs. And you know, just the fact that they have gotten this far with their, very artificial, fake, inorganic type of, worldview, it has to be shunned. It must be shunned. This is not this is not a solution, for women that can't. This is not good, everyone. We have to speak. We have to not be afraid to say it's not good. It's not going to be good. Okay. So, getting back to morality and natural organic law is the way out of this becoming lawful, period. And, repatriating. I have no problem with patriarchy and masculinity and feminine. It just needs to be balanced. And we have to have self love and respect to not allow people to define us. And like Girl Code, I forgot about Neil deGrasse and the stuff they were doing to the frogs and the water and the things like that. This stuff will continue. We will continue to have a food supply that's poison. We'll have every pandemic and every more Jonestown jabs and boosters and mandates, and it'll just keep going on and on. Did it really worth? Do we have enough yet? Or do you want more? Do you want more of that? I don't. It's time to be a serious law student. And again, it's tied to being moral. And that means doing no harm. And you can express your freedom as long as no harm is done. And
That's
we've all
right.
been harmed. We've all
That's
been
right.
harmed. So,
And I just want to
yeah.
thank you for having me. I'm going to let you close out by yourself because you know that I've got Tanny over here who needs a nap. And so, I'm gonna continue to listen, and I'm gonna support and hold your hand and be with the family all the way out. And I just want to say to the Chatmosphere, thank you for always welcoming me on Jennifer's platform. I love you all so much. And Jen can tell you, I say to her all the time, Sissy, I says, I fall in love more and more with the family members and the Chatmosphere with every broadcast that you do, Jen. And you are a healer to the people. We love you so much. The fact that you consistently come on, you give yourself so selflessly. I respect that so much. And you are just such a beautiful person, and I can't get enough of you. And I just want to tell you so much that, I want to tell you all the time, but I want to tell you so much love that I have. I never knew I could have for someone. This is what you bring out in me. And I'm sure I speak for everyone when I say, keep up the great work. And I love you so much.
Oh my goodness, that makes my day. I love you so much. Like God really blessed me with you, Girl Code. The Girl Code has really lifted me up over these 3 years. She has been such a sister. You all are amazing. She really loves you all so much. She just loves the love you all give her, and our good Harlem Sentinel, Karen, amazing, amazing sister. All of you, just thank you so much. If I missed anything in the Chatmosphere, I want to thank you. I think it was wait, our British sister. I think I saw something come across a super chat. Thank you so much, our beautiful girl. Let's see where I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna find it. But thank you for the super chat. Oh my goodness. I will find it. I will get back through these comments, but thank you for being patient as we were kind of not looking at the chatmosphere as much. Hey Sharon, how you doing Sharon? Sentinel is here. Hey. Wow, look at some of the comments. Women have lost what makes them different and superior. Women become men like the others. There you are. It's nothing unique in a woman wanting to try to compete with a man. That's really, it's very short-sighted, it's not intelligent, and it leads to just further chaos. And again, these women don't realize they're replacing themselves. It was you, Empress. Thank you, Empress 13. She said, "That's right, girl code. We had ours, UK, and was threatened with prison if we didn't partake. I did not consent." Thank you so much, Empress. Thank you for the super chat. And thank you for being a very courageous person and what you're doing over there in the UK, along with Joseph and along with our Canadian brothers and sisters. If you're in Spain, Sentinel, you are standing up against such tyranny. I know it's really hard there. It's crazy here, but America's a little different. I mean, I think it's a little bit worse for some of you all, especially up in Canada with that madman, that likes to be in blackface and craziness. But we constantly, have you in our hearts and prayer, and we always, have our arms opened up. We'll come and see you when, we get back to some balanced things when it comes to traveling. But if you are traveling and you're, Godspeed to you. I wish you a wonderful trip. I definitely, I can understand when people just want to keep traveling, because I do love travel. But, if you are getting out there into, the friendly skies, I hope it is friendly and you have mercy and grace in your travels. Okay. And I will keep you posted on some of the great things that Girl Code and I we're up to. I'll say we have some care package type of things. We want to again heal the tortured child. Heal. Let's get to healing and getting these compartmentalized traumas to the surface, and let's get some healing going. Okay, some balm of Gilead, but it has a lot to do with truth and how we respond to truth and wisdom and intelligence. All right. So let's be intelligent emotionally and in every way. And we do not bow down to tyrants, and we are not afraid. Okay. You may feel fearful at times, but we are not going to let fear dictate anything. All right. So thank you. I love you. And if you want to watch this movie, Watership Down, I highly recommend that you watch it. And if you do, let me know. Give me some feedback. Maybe we'll do a whole decode, another decode on it if a few of you want to watch it and talk about it. Okay. All right. So F that Jonestown jab. I don't care about no doggone variants. We have to take our freedom seriously, and fearful cowards do not deserve freedom. Okay. So let's be in a place where we deserve freedom. All right. Because slavery is a choice. All right. I said it. You're not going to do anything about it either. All right. Take care. Love you. Bye-bye.